Helps if I switch my mic on, doesn't it? There we go. Streaming, hey? It's all live. Hello, everybody. Welcome back to the channel. And I'll just mute myself as well. Yeah, it is New Year's Eve 2021/2022, whichever you want to call it. We've had COVID in the house, and I start a new job on Monday. So I've just been playing it safe. I've not left the house. So here I am. I can see questions coming in already. Hello Callum, how you doing? Going to give it a little more time, see if anyone else turns up. I'll do a little bit of housekeeping, general stuff for the channel first. And then I've got quite a few questions already, which I've got through Instagram over the last couple of days. I'll be going through all that. And then, yeah, anything else, ask away. Stick it in the chat on the right hand side of your screen. I'm not sure how it works on mobile. I think it's just down below. Pardon me. And yeah, we'll see how it goes. We'll try and do it for the next hour and 20 minutes, but we'll see how we do. Anyone who knows me in real life, I don't really do a great deal of talking. So yeah, there we go. I'll just all this stuff is new. I'm trying to figure out levels and stuff like that, so that should be better now. So yeah, there we go. How do I sound to start with? New microphone right here, you may have noticed. This is the Rode NT, I've forgotten what it's called. The NT1A. Yeah, I've never had a cardioid microphone before. I've been quite excited to finally get and try it out. This I'll be using in the voiceovers in my tutorials and other videos as well. Yeah, quite excited to get more use out of it, I'll be honest. Along with that, new headphones. These are the Audio-Technica M40X, I think. Not by any stretch of the imagination top of the range or anything like that, but for quite a while I've been wanting just a good pair of headphones for editing purposes, really. What have I got? I've got a pair of Beats Solo something or other, which I got free with a laptop a while ago. They're alright, but most headphones on the market, especially consumer stuff, they'll have some sort of EQ tuning. They'll be a bit bass heavy or higher in the mids or whatever. These, from what I've tested so far, I received them yesterday, they seem very nice. They're very nice, sort of flat EQ. Great for editing, really, when you need to hear exactly how everything's leveling out. And then yeah, I've also got my first actual audio interface. It's the Focusrite Scarlett Solo, the 3rd generation one. Yeah, liking it so far. So this is plugged in straight in through XLR, and then headphones straight in as well. Yeah, loving it. So I've got a bit of a document on the go, stuff to cover. First off, Merry Christmas, you filthy animals. Hope it was a good one. Hope you got a pretty good haul as well. That's the main thing, isn't it? Hope you all got to spend some time with family and those close to you. The main present I got this year was a book. I got socks as well, actually. They were really nice. I got Jimmy Chin's latest book, Photographs from the Edge, which I've not even had a chance to crack it open yet. I'm dead excited to just spend an evening listening to music or whatever, just flicking through this. I've been a fan of Jimmy Chin for quite a while. You know what? I've actually not even seen Free Solo or his new one, The Rescue. I've not seen any of them yet, but just following his photography work for ages. I mean, I'm no climber or anything. I used to do a bit of bouldering, but some of this stuff is stunning. And I'm pretty sure, I mean, he was initially shooting on film as well in these sort of conditions. So yeah, can't wait to go through that. Do let me know in the chat what you got as well. Did you get any nice new camera equipment, some new lenses, or I don't know, a rocket blower, something like that? Let me know. Right, I'm not really a drinker anymore, I'll be honest with you, but seeing as it's New Year's Eve, I do have a very small bottle of spiced apple rum from right here in North Wales. For those who don't know, my company, the channel name, Pharma Media, is named after a mountain, well, a hill, called Morfamai. This here is called Morfamai Rum, and it is produced on the side of Morfamai. I did some shooting for this lady, Catherine, from Angel Feathers. It's primarily gin that she produces, but she was just having a play around, made some rum. I didn't like gin, and she was trying to pass something off to me, so she gave me some rum. Let's crack this open. Whoops. It smells delicious. I mean, I already know it's delicious. There's not very much left. But hey ho. Ideally, I'd like some ginger beer. But playing it safe, I've not been shopping this week. So, what's on the list? Yeah, new setup for the regular viewers and anyone who's been here in person. You may have noticed recently I've switched things around a bit. So that bookcase over behind me, that used to be right here, and then I used to clamp the camera onto the bookcase and shoot that way. That's how, for pretty much the last year, that's how most of my videos were filmed. But I've had a switch around, so I've now got a nice flat desk here, much wider as well. I did have a corner desk, and it was just a lot of wasted space. So here we are now against the wall, and then over behind me I've got the same desk again. It's 1.40 meters, but at that end I actually had a bit of a brainwave. I put it on casters, so I can actually slide it out just as and when I need it, for when I'm filming or if I want a separate workspace or anything like that. Whole thing just slides out another 50 centimeters, and it's mega. I'm dead happy with it. And yeah, really it means that I can make more camera angles. So this is a completely new camera angle. You haven't seen this on the channel before. You've got my camera angle looking this way when I'm sat at this desk, and then I can still use a clamp, as in my last video. I can use a clamp on the bookshelf and shoot down this way as well. And then up at the top you can probably see I've got my lights rigged. I've got one here right now. This is the Aperture 120D. I just recently got the Godox VL 150 as well. Cracking light so far. I'm loving it. Really quiet as well, and very accurate from what I can tell. So that is pretty much permanently rigged up at the top there. Yeah, it's just everything about this office is function over form, which is pretty much the motto I live by, really. I mean, look at me. So then yeah, new stuff. We've mentioned microphone, well, all the audio stuff really so far. New microphone, audio interface, headphones. I also recently picked up, well, a few months ago, I picked up a Loupedeck, which is something that had intrigued me for quite a while, but I was always very hesitant whether to go ahead or not. So I went over to Birmingham to the NEC for the photography show this year, or photography and video show, whatever they call it now. Basically the UK's biggest expo for photography, videography. And yeah, found the Loupedeck store. I was with one other person, Chris, who you might have seen on the channel, and then bumped into Graham at Follow Films as well, and another North Welsh photographer. So 4 of us were chatting next to the stand, and then 3 of us ended up picking up the Loupedeck CT. I'm liking it so far. I will be doing a video on it at some point. I've only really used it in photo editing so far, but once you've figured out how to use the software and get it set up how you like it, it makes editing a breeze. Honestly, having physical tactile buttons and dials to get your work done, it's, yeah, I can probably edit a full wedding now in a day and a half, delivering 700 to 800 images, which would used to take me 3 or 4 days. So in terms of an investment, especially if you're really hammering weddings, I'd certainly be looking into it. Quick drink. Ooh, that's good. We've had a message from a person on the internet, and they've retracted their message. The idea is you ask me questions and then I answer them. I can't answer it if I can't see it. Oh well. Callum's tooth has exploded. That's never a nice thing, really, is it? Sorry, mate. Sorry to hear about that. Am I coming over? That depends, really. Are your parents home? I might do. Either way, I don't know. We'll see how the night goes. See how much room I have. Then, yeah. Oh, one last thing that I got. I decided to finally invest in some decent Allen keys, exciting as they are. So yeah, there's a company called Vera or Vera. I don't know how you pronounce it. I'm guessing they're German, so Vera or Vera. Yeah, basically Allen keys. I don't know how many screws I've actually stripped out over the last few months when I've been getting new camera, new rigging equipment, constantly taking stuff on and off. Cheap Allen keys, yeah, they can eventually do damage. So I decided to get some decent ones. I love these ones with the, see the ball on the end, meaning you can use them pretty much any angle. So I just bought a full set of these. They go from 0.5 millimeter. The standard size is the 4 millimeter. But then I didn't realise how big a 10 millimeter Allen key would be. Have you ever seen an Allen key that big before? Because I have not, and I'm still in awe, I'll be honest. Sarah's here. Hi Sarah, how you doing? And James as well. James is watching me here from Leicester. All my friends are in Leicester and elsewhere tonight. 2 years since I've seen those guys already. But yeah, you know, things have been happening in the world. Eventually, I'll get back down there. So, eventually, I hope. Right, enough about Allen keys and what I've been spending money on, because I hate reminding myself as well. What's being said now? Oh, Sarah's got COVID as well. So yeah, both basically my sister's boyfriend came up here from Cardiff for Christmas, and he brought COVID with him. What day was that? I think it was the 23rd he came up, and then 27th I think they went back down after they found out he'd actually got it. He got his results back. Once I got back to Cardiff, my sister also found out for PCR test that she had it as well. I went for PCR test yesterday morning, and I got my results today that I was negative, despite being in the same house for 5-6 days. So I'm obviously just invincible to this sort of stuff. But no, in reality, I am a bit of a hermit in this house. I basically sleep and eat in the house. Otherwise, I'm pretty much in here all the time. Otherwise, if I'm, I don't know, gaming in my room or anything, because of the dog, we keep all the doors shut. So, yeah, I'm just locked away in there anyway. That's how I like it, to be fair. But there we go. So, yeah, maybe I've just avoided it through being a hermit. I don't know. But then I am still eating next to my parents as well, so I'll be keeping on top of it, especially starting this new job in a couple of days. So I've got, you can see up there, I've got another 2 packs of lateral flows, or a pack and a half. So yeah, we'll see how that goes. Speaking of which, I got a new job. Pardon me. Very quickly, how's the dog? He's still a little, I can't say that word live. What can I call him? He's a nuisance. He is still a nuisance. Yeah, Welsh Terrier. He's now maybe 2 years and a couple of months old. But because of the pandemic, I mean, we got him in January 2020. So by the time all his jabs and everything had worn off, and he was finally allowed to go out and start socialising, boom, pandemic. So he had no socialising with other humans or other dogs. He had no training sessions or anything like that. Yeah, it's a bit rubbish, really. I mean, we can't blame him either, but there we go. Supposedly, they'll start calming down after about maybe 4 years. With any luck, I might be out of here by then, but we will see. New messages. Alan, with the emojis there. Sorry, I was only cocky once as you. I was once as cocky as you, I'm sorry. You watch out, it bites without warning. You calling me cocky? I don't know. Right, yeah. New job. So, talking generally in terms of my business for my media and photography by Ben Jones before that, as the channel used to be called, I am so very glad that I didn't hone myself into the niche of just shooting weddings, because I would not be in business anymore. Yeah, so when was it? Last September 2020. Basically, the one good thing that I got out of 2020 was a what was it called? A freelancer grant support sort of thing. I didn't get the self-employed income support, but yeah, I did manage to get one from the Prince's Trust. So basically, as part of that, it was all business related. You had to tell them what you're going to be spending the money on. So I decided I wanted a drone, which I did genuinely. I'd been wanting to get into aerial work for quite a while. So yeah, I got the money to get a drone. And then, if you remember watching it maybe on this channel, I demolished it within a few days of having it. I put a photo up on my Instagram stories of this drone, like without a camera. It just disappeared. And then this guy called Chris, who runs his own company called Eastwood Media, based in Llandegla, he replied saying, "You need to come on my drone course tomorrow, mate. It's called How Not to Crash Your Drone." And I thought that was probably a good idea. So as part of this grant, I'd also budgeted for some sort of drone training. So I went along on the course. It was ace, and I was also vlogging it as well. So Chris said to me, "Quite like some of your footage. I'll knock a little bit off your course fee." It's like, yeah, sound, win-win. And then a week or so after that, he gave me a ring saying, "I've got a job in a few days. I'm busy. Can you cover it for me?" It's like, yeah, sound. So I had no work except for YouTube. So yeah, started doing little bits on the freelance basis for him, and then I've done a lot of work with him over the last year or so as well. And then yeah, I think in reality he's probably realised how much he's spending on me as a freelancer, that he might as well just hire me. But yeah, it's he's doing well. And I mean, how do I word this? I don't know. I'm trying to think. So basically, you might not even. I might well be doing some of this work. I don't know. If you go on the website or anything like that, none of their sort of big recent work from like big clients, none of that's really on the website or anything like that. But since I did that first job with him, 13 months ago, I'm pretty sure he's worked on 2 Ferrari commercials. He was working on a Aston Martin commercial a month or so ago, I think, for the Valkyrie. Does a lot of motorsport. So I first sort of heard of him through Rally. Wales Rally GB is here in North Wales. Some of the stages are, as the crow flies, probably 5 miles over that way. And yeah, he was basically part of the actual DJI aerial team for the WRC. Saw him tagged in something, went on his profile, and based in Llandegla, so yeah, just started chatting a little bit. Yeah, there's a ton of motorsport stuff, if a lot of TV broadcast stuff as well. If you've seen, what's it called? I don't watch like terrestrial TV at all. I'm a Celebrity, Get Me Out of Here. He was doing some nuts FPV drone work with that at night time with the fireworks going off in front of the castle and stuff. What was the other one? Children in Need thing, the rickshaw challenge. He was doing all the drone work on that, which is ace. So yeah, I'm very excited to be joining the team. It's a very small team. It's basically Chris, another employee, and it'll be myself joining. It'll be primarily an editing role, which is a big reason why I've started editing in Premiere Pro, because those guys edit in Premiere Pro. So I've been sort of figuring it out for myself. I've got it pretty nailed down really, especially for YouTube stuff like this. I can edit a video almost as quickly as I could in Final Cut Pro, but it does take longer, a lot longer to export. So I think I will be sticking to Final Cut Pro for the time being for my YouTube work, but I'm glad that I sort of got ahead a little bit and introduced myself to Premiere, because I'll be spending a lot of time in that editing suite from now on. But yeah, I think it'll be primarily editing. It's only 4 days a week, which works perfectly for me. I'll still be doing my own work and YouTube channel and whatever else comes along as well. Obviously, making sure that it doesn't clash with anything. We've had a good chat about all this sort of stuff. There's a good chance that some commercial work I might literally just hand off to Eastwood Media instead. I'll still be working on it if they decide to go ahead. So yeah, nothing really lost. So yeah, primarily editing, but then I will also still be out on shoots as well. There's a few clients already, such as there's a big steel company here in the UK that he does a lot of work for, which I've covered some work for him. I'll probably be doing more of that, especially more local jobs with very small clients. He does quite a lot of work which I've worked on for, like the Clywedian Range and the Dee Valley outstanding natural beauty groups. Yeah, there'll be plenty of work on, which I'm very excited for, I have to say. And if anything, I think it very much warrants my expenditure recently, in terms of especially these guys here. So I'll be getting a lot of use out of them. So then, I need another drink. Ooh, that's a nice rum. So, we get on some question submissions. So, most of these are through Instagram from the last couple of days. The first one was from a fellow called Andrew Cockrell. He's a wedding photographer here in North Wales, who was asking about Starlink. Is it still any good? It's still expensive. It's still £89 a month, which does add up, take its toll. Obviously for me, it's a business expense. So, yeah, it's warranted, especially for video uploads and stuff like that. Speeds, I'll tell you what, let's do a live speed test. Let's open a new window. Desktop. Hey. Sorry if anyone got dizzy there. So, speed test. Where are we? Bear in mind that we are streaming right now, so that'll obviously take up a bit of bandwidth. let's go. I am currently connected directly to the Starlink router. Yeah, I plugged it in. Whew, that's not bad, is it? We're still hitting. Are we still streaming all right? It looks like it from here. So yeah, we're still getting downloads up towards the 300 mark. Upload around 15, 16. I was not expecting it to be that good, if I'm honest with you. Ping of 30. Yeah. Yeah, that's not bad, really, is it? I mean, go back 12 months, that download speed would have been around 3 or 4 megabit a second, and my upload would have been around 0.4 towards 0.8 megabit a second. That was using my old sort of makeshift 4G network. So yeah, I mean, for me, it is still the only viable option of having good internet. So yeah, I mean, there is... I wasn't even showing you that, was I? We'll do that again very quickly. Can you tell I'm still quite new to this streaming stuff? There we go. Okay, so let's test it again. So yeah, there is still no fibre around here, and yeah, I doubt there will be anytime soon, to be honest with you. This has dropped down a little bit by the look of it, by about a measly 100 meg. Let's see what the upload is like. Yeah, the upload's dropped a little bit as well. You'll just have to take my word for it that it was higher than that the first time I tried, but didn't show you. But yeah, I mean, compared to what I used to have, around 4 meg download and 0.5 upload, it's a world of difference. I can upload a 10-minute 4K video to YouTube in usually less than 15-20 minutes. So that does me just fine. That one. There we go. Yeah, still very new to this streaming stuff. I think the last time I did it was 6 months ago. Okay. In terms of performance with Starlink, as an example, I was trying to do a little bit of gaming this evening around 7 o'clock. Got into Rocket League and it was unplayable. Then I checked on my app. I used the TP-Link Deco X20s to spread the Wi-Fi across the house, and then the Xbox is wired into the Deco unit. But on their app you can see the list of devices that are connected and what sort of bandwidth they're using. Turns out my parents were watching the new Beatles documentary, Get Back, and that was hogging internet. So yeah, Rocket League just was unplayable, just jumping around all over the place. Usually it's pretty decent, even despite using the wireless mesh system. So behind this wall here is the garage. That's where the dish is routed into. That's plugged into the Starlink router. And then out of that, I've got an Ethernet going down towards the door over there, where my first TP-Link unit is plugged in. Then that, through witchcraft and whatever other wizardry that happens, beams it over to the house, where I've got another 2 Deco X20s, one in my bedroom, one in the spare room / my dad's office, and then the Xbox is plugged directly into mine in my room, as is the PC as well. And then I've got another smaller Deco M5 in the living room, purely to plug the Skybox into. Generally, it's not too bad. I can usually get away playing Rocket League and stuff like that, which is a notoriously laggy game. I can never tell when it's my internet that's causing latency or just their servers. But there we go. I have had trouble with things like Forza Motorsport 7 before now. In fact, I've been banned twice this year on Forza Motorsport. Been playing their games for, I don't know, getting on 10 years, never had a report or anything like that. And then twice within a few months, I've had a ban of 1 week. No, sorry, I think the initial ban is for 2 weeks. And then the second one was for a month. So I just gave up on it. I'm guessing it's because of some sort of latency issue, and I must be just barging people off track or something without even realising it. So, yeah, there's that. But in terms of productivity, I mean, how is this stream doing so far? Has it been cutting out or anything? Please do let me know in the chat. I would generally like to know if it is doing anything gammy. Yeah, it's pretty good. But I think if you're able to get fibre where you live, get fibre. You'll no doubt have a much sturdier connection. Next question was from Mitch, again on Instagram, asking what my favourite TV of 2021 has been. So, first off, I can tell you immediately my favourite show, not necessarily released in 2021, but that I discovered in 2021, The Handmaid's Tale. Best show I've seen in I don't know how long. It is brutal. I mean, properly brutal. They do not hold back. But yeah, I mean, the story, the cinematography, the performances, Elizabeth Moss, stunning. Yeah, superb show. I do not have the patience to be reading books, nor do I have the time, unfortunately, really. But I've heard they're fantastic as well. I think my sister's read it. But yeah, fully recommend Handmaid's Tale. And then in no particular order, some of my very favourite TV shows that I've watched in the last year. The Witcher, especially season 2, it's fantastic. I'll probably be starting that again tomorrow, I think. The Chestnut Man, if anyone likes sort of gritty detective shows, this is I think it's Danish show. It's on Netflix. It's fantastic. Yeah, I've been watching a lot of sort of Scandinavian crime series recently. Can't get enough of it. But the Chestnut Man, fantastic. Ted Lasso, superb. It'll have you laughing, it'll have you crying. It's about football, but it's also not at all about football. Absolutely love it. That's on Apple TV, obviously. Also on Apple TV, there's a show called SEE, S-E-E, with, what's his name? Jason Momoa, and Dave Bautista comes into it in season 2 as well. Superb. I really love the premise of it, and I think they've done a superb job of getting it across on screen as well. A favourite of mine, has been for a long time, is What We Do in the Shadows series. I think it's series 3, dropped quite recently on BBC, so that is completely free for anyone to watch. Fully recommend it. Taika Waititi and it's Jermaine Clement, isn't it? Yeah, of Flight of the Conchords. Utterly superb writing. Sex Education on Netflix, fantastic. It's one of those I'd sort of been, I don't know, holding off a little bit. You know, you hear everyone saying how good the show is, so you just refuse to watch it for ages. But I finally watched it all a few months ago. Yeah, cracking show. Very recent one on Apple TV as well. I've cancelled the subscription now, but The Shrink Next Door with Paul Rudd and Will Ferrell, superb. Really liked it. Based on a true story as well. I'm pretty sure I've heard the story before, maybe on one of my true crime podcasts or something like that. That's what I do when I'm editing weddings. I'm listening to stories about serial killers and stuff like that. It gets me through. Yeah, Shrink Next Door, fantastic. Ragnarok on Netflix. Other than Taika Waititi's for Ragnarok, this is my favourite adaptation of Thor as a character and the story. It's actually a Norwegian show, actually dubbed into English very well. Because of my dyslexia, I can't watch stuff with subtitles. I simply cannot read it fast enough. So I really, really appreciate it when there's a good dub of a show. Yeah, Ragnarok, first series especially, I think was very low budget, but they did a fantastic job with it. I recently watched all of Black Mirror, Charlie Brooker's show. Fantastic. Yeah, I don't know how I hadn't watched that before. Probably the same thing again. Everyone's saying how good it is, so I won't watch it. A bit of a off-kilter one for me was Holston. It's another Netflix show starring Obi-Wan Kenobi, Ewan McGregor. Yeah, I'd never heard of the guy before. Holston. He was a fashion designer in the US. When was it? I don't know, 60s, 70s, 80s, something like that. Yeah, very good watch. I'd recommend it. Giri Haji. It's been in my Netflix list for a long, long time. I finally watched it a couple of weeks ago. Superb. I won't give the story away. But yeah, it's basically a ex-Yakuza, supposedly one of the top Yakuza assassins. Is presumed dead, but he flees to London. Then his brother, who is a detective back in Tokyo, he comes to London to try and find his brother. I'm not going to say any more about it, but it's a great series. Obviously, Mandalorian, over the last couple of years, I think it's been coming out. Love it. I don't know what all the hate is about, personally. And I'm very much looking forward to Boba Fett series as well. I'm very much looking forward to that. Now that I've cancelled Apple TV, I'll probably just pay for Disney Plus for a month and just smash it for a month. Watch everything. And then just a couple of very sort of maybe niche options. On Netflix, there's one called Oats Studio and one called Love, Death and Robots. You may have seen them pop up, I don't know. But Love, Death and Robots is a series of short films. Some of them might be live action, some of them are animation. Pardon me. But yeah, I believe that one's from all sorts of different creators. And it's fantastic. Some of them are literally 2 minutes long. But just seeing this collection of different ideas being shown together, one after the other, I love it. And then Oat Studios is quite a similar one as well. We actually had, I think the first episode stars Sigourney Weaver, which I was not expecting. I think from what I remember, a couple of their episodes sort of tie into each other. But yeah, well worth watching. Pardon me. Callum, good to have you with me. Yeah, people are idiots. That every time that I go and see Callum, we are basically each other's social circle around these parts. It's pretty much what we do, just shaking our heads in disbelief at the general public and stuff like that. Yeah, I love it. Cheers for tuning in. I'll see you soon, man. Okay, that'll do for TV series, I think. What time are we on? We've only got 35 minutes. So, next question was from Marv. What's his Instagram handle? You might even follow him on YouTube, actually. He's another fellow British creator. Messages. Where is he? I can't remember his Instagram name, but it's basically, his name is Marv, or Marvin, and his channel is called Marvelous Visuals. I'm trying to find you in my messages. Where have you gone? I'm going to have to search. So, Marv asks if I'm still interested in doing weddings. And then there's a follow-up question, and how do I balance with YouTube time? I'll answer the second part first. YouTube. Anyone who watches regularly, you may have noticed, I recently took like 4 months off. I do not treat YouTube as a job. It is still very much just a hobby. I do make money from it, and everyone who watches any of these videos, you contribute to that, so thank you very much. It's not a lot of money. It basically pays for my internet every month, and I've already said how much my internet is, so you know roughly how much I make per month out of this. When I have the time, I will just try and smash videos out and just get them uploaded and scheduled for release. What I'm really rubbish at is advertising the videos elsewhere out of YouTube. In general, I hate social media. I just can't be bothered with it. It's just another job. Facebook, I wouldn't have Facebook if it wasn't for my business page, and I don't even really use my business page. Instagram, they brought a new feature out recently, actually, which I'm quite surprised about. If you can see on my phone, I don't know if you can. Instagram has been doing my head in recently, because literally every 4th or 5th post as you're scrolling is an advert, and it does my head in. And then you might start seeing randomers that you don't even follow, seeing their posts pop up. But now, where are we? Focus. If we click on Instagram at the top there, it gives you the option for following, and that basically gets rid of adverts, I believe. I don't think... Oh no, there's an advert. I think on day one, when they released this feature, I went and tested it out, and I didn't see a single advert on that feed when I was scrolling through. Although now that is still just the one advert that I've seen. So yeah, if you're like me and you're just getting sick to death of adverts on Instagram, try doing that. It might just calm you down a little bit, and you might actually start scrolling through posts again. But yeah, otherwise, literally all I would do is Instagram stories. Mostly just looking at other people's. I don't even post much to my stories. But yeah, there we go. Twitter, it's just another one in it. If there could be just one social media, I would be so happy, and I might actually bother with it as well. But there we are. Torunk has posted the message vor.ngo. I do not know what that means. That's YouTube. So back to Marv's question. Am I still interested in weddings? Yes. There is a lot of money to be had out of weddings. I'm not really into weddings as a career at all. Like I said earlier in this stream, I am so very glad that I wasn't honed into the wedding niche when the pandemic started. I much prefer the more commercial stuff, I'll be honest with you. But weddings I do enjoy. I've got quite a few bookings already for next year. I've got, I think, 2 wedding bookings so far for 2023 as well. So yeah, I think most of them are at weekends, so they shouldn't affect this new job at all. It would just be down to me to find the time to get the editing done. And in fact, the vast majority of my bookings for next year are actually wedding films rather than photo. I'm doing one, I think I've got one wedding photography gig booked in next September. And then I've got a couple of joint photo and video. Otherwise, it's all video, which I'm actually very pleased about. It's a far more interesting option for me. I much prefer making the films rather than galleries. Yeah, you can get far more creative with them and everything. So yes, still doing weddings. This year, I was going to say this year just gone. I'll have to wait another half an hour till I can say that. This year, 2021, has been by far my busiest year for weddings. In fact, this month, December, I've shot 3 weddings. I never intended on shooting any weddings this month. But hey ho. Yeah, you can't complain. You gotta make hay while the sun is shining. Bit more rum. Next question is from Scott Taylor. Scott T Photography on Instagram. Questions about wedding photography. First off, how did I get started? Slowly. It took a while. So, for anyone who doesn't know, I used to be a chef. Who'd have thought it? Yeah, eventually, as many do, I realised how horrible a profession it was. I eventually got myself into a head chef role, and the highest wage that I found myself on was £9 an hour, which is shocking. Yes, you're doing a lot of hours, but especially here in North Wales, it depends on the type of place that you're working in. I mean, I was once working in a hotel in Beaumaris as a chef de partie on a 40-hour contract for £14,000 salary. In reality, you're doing closer to 50, 60 hours, and then taking it in turns with the other chefs as well to come in early at 5 in the morning to cover the breakfast shift, and then doing the rest of your day. I was also the pastry chef there, so I was there far later than anyone else. Yeah, I just slowly started hating my life, basically. Realised that the job was a big part of that. So I got out of there. Photography was just a hobby at the time, primarily landscape. In fact, it was only about a month or so after I walked out of the kitchen that I uploaded my first YouTube video, which is shocking. If you want a bit of a laugh, go and find it. Yeah, just took it from there, really. Learning all that I could, spent a lot of time on YouTube and just getting out there, shooting. Then I basically just started cold calling and cold emailing other wedding photographers here in North Wales. I must have emailed, I think, probably 25, 30 photographers, and one of them replied to me. In fact, we'll go and find it. See if I can do this properly this time. Share the desktop. Hey, okay. I'll go on this one. So we'll search for Hellev Roberts. So yeah, Hellev Roberts. She's a wedding photographer based in Bala, here in North Wales. You can disappear. Oh, I hate Facebook Messenger. Why aren't you disappearing? Oh well. Yeah. Stunning photographer. Pretty much as soon as I found Hellev's website, I basically stopped emailing anyone else. I was just so hopeful that she would reply to me. Yeah, she was the one person who eventually actually replied to my email. Had a phone call, had a chat, and yeah, she basically took me under her wing. She invited me out on a couple of shoots. I was obviously just happy to do so, free of charge, just so I could get images and start playing with them. And then I am still second shooting for her now and then as well. I think I last shot a wedding with her in August or September of this year over on Anglesey. But yeah, utterly sublime wedding photographer. Let's have a look. Tyndall Hall, the best, well, one of the best wedding venues here in North Wales. Yeah, it's I love the mix of images. One thing that she really has nailed down is the fact that she can pose people. I hate posing people, which is probably partly why I market myself as documentary wedding photographer. But I mean, I'm getting better at it. I can tell people what to do a bit more now. But Hellev, yeah, such a superb mix of the more posed and sort of candid, more documentary stuff as well. Her editing as well, the actual finalisation of images, love it. And she actually still shoots film as well. I'm not sure if she's still shooting film for weddings, but she certainly has been. Yeah, I mean, featured in all of these places. Yeah, can't recommend her enough. If you're looking for a wedding photographer, get in touch with Hellev. forget about me. I'll do the video for you. Go and find Helev, see if she's available. What was the next bit? You're still seeing my screen here, aren't you? So yeah, in terms of admin, image hosting and booking process. So we'll go with booking first. I don't pay for any sort of admin booking software or anything like that. I've heard that Photo Ninja is very good. I know a few people who use that, if that's what it's called. I think it's Photo Ninja. But I will basically just see if any emails turn up in my inbox. I'll start chatting to them. It's been a bit harder the last couple of years, but I always try to actually meet up with my couples, go and buy them a coffee, and just have a chat, go for a quick wander. Ask them beforehand if they want just a few shots taken as well. Just getting them used to you and you pointing a camera at them. That can just take away so much anxiety that the couple might have in terms of being photographed, not knowing the person behind the camera. It just makes them a lot more at ease and far more willing to do what you tell them to do as well, if you are posing them, and in general just making them less awkward as well. If the couple is really awkward when you first meet them, good example of this last week at a wedding I was shooting. Lovely couple, really cool wedding. It's like a very gothic sort of style wedding, just black dress and everything's stunning. But they're a very sort of timid couple, and starting off the day, I think that probably came across in the images. I wasn't doing the photo, I was doing the video, but as the day went on, they got to know us better, and they were far more comfortable. They were far more willing to just take a chance, trying different poses and stuff like that, and the images show that as well. So just getting to know the couples, that is the best advice I could ever give, really. So yeah, in terms of the booking, I don't think I've ever failed to book a couple after I've met them in person. Obviously, I've not met many couples in person the last couple of years, but depending on restrictions, come January, February, that is what I'll be planning, really. All my couples this next year, I've not met any of them yet, so I'll be trying to just arrange coffee dates and stuff like that. In terms of booking process, I basically have a contract where I get the info off them for, you know, their names, address, venue details, dates and stuff. I'll just fill in the blanks. It's literally 1 page A4, dead simple, covers pretty much every base, and yeah, that does the job really. Don't even have to sign it. I'll then send over a invoice for a booking fee, and then at the bottom of my contract, I just say, by paying a booking fee, you are agreeing to the terms of this contract. Yeah, dead easy. As long as your couples know how to open a Word document and read a PDF, which they should be sound. Yeah. And then about a month, roughly a month before the actual wedding date, I'll send over the final invoice. But then I'll also try and get a WhatsApp group set up between the three of us as well. I hate emails. Most people out there hate emails. You always feel like you need to be more formal just because it's an email. So yeah, I'll just set up a WhatsApp group and we can just chat and send memes and all sorts of stuff. It's far easier, far more casual. you're not waiting around for days at a time, usually, to get a reply on something. Yeah, it's ace. I hate Facebook, but WhatsApp is still pretty good. And then image hosting with weddings. So for delivering my wedding galleries, I use a hosting site called Instaproofs. There's almost certainly going to be better hosting sites out there. I've heard very good things of PickTime and whatever all the other ones are called. But once I'd got Instaproofs up and running, I couldn't be bothered changing. And for the volume of weddings that I do, it costs me, I think, £9 a month for 50 gigabytes of storage. I don't upload like full resolution images, especially when I was shooting on A7R4. That would be ridiculous. Where are we now? I'll share my screen again. There we go. I'm getting good at this now. So, Safari, buy hello. So, this is what your homepage. No, it isn't. This, I've logged out. I'll say it again. Touch ID is the best for computers. Yeah, this is what your dashboard would look like. I don't think there's anything particular that I should be hiding on here, but basically you can create a separate gallery. All of these are password protected as well, so basically you'll send over a link to the gallery and the password, and then they can share that password and link with whoever they want. I'll try and find, it's my gallery homepage. So I quite like it. It's pretty clean and simple. So let's say, what can I remember the password for? Jane and Liam got married in Buxton in September. This will probably be a bit slower because I'm streaming at the same time. Yeah, quite a bit slower. Here we go. So just put email address in, but it's not that password. Oh. Okay. I'm not bothered about my email address being there because, I mean, if anyone wants me to do stuff for money, then yeah, that's the email address they're using. I believe that's the password. Yeah. So then you can categorize the images. So I've got ceremony, which includes like basically from when I arrived and started shooting up to the end of the ceremony. Then we went outside for couple shots and group shots, and then basically reception afterwards. Don't save the password. And then yeah, each of these it just does a slideshow for you, which will just that's going to take forever, innit? So yeah, it automatically makes a slideshow for you, so you don't have to bother with any of that work. If we click on an image, then we have built-in printing options. So if I go to add it to the cart, these are the prices I use. I don't even know if they're up to date with how much it would actually cost me. So I offer basically 6x4 and 12x8 prints. They are fulfilled through Loxley Colour Labs, I think, in Glasgow. And then there's also digital downloads, which I just make free. So you literally just tick that, add to cart, and then yeah, check out with whatever images you want. For the couple themselves, when you're setting up the gallery, in the settings you can actually add their email addresses so that once they log in, they'll see a big download button at the top to download the entire gallery. It's dead easy. I've not really had any complaints at all from using that system. Yeah, I mean, it works for me. So there we go. And then in general, I'll set them to expire after 6 months. I'll tell a couple that, obviously. And always tell your couple to make at least 2 copies of their work as well. Yeah, I cannot be bothered with the faff of going through and re-exporting, re-uploading images. So tell them from the offset, you need to make your own copies here. Hopefully they will, and you won't have an issue. Yeah, you can see these ones along the bottom. These have all expired. They're still there if I needed to just activate it again. But then once how much space have I got? So I'm using 37 of my 50 gigabytes so far, so I'm probably fine for a while yet. But if I needed to start deleting galleries, I'll just go from the oldest one, start making more space. And in the Instagram message, Scott also asked me, I think he was on about website and sort of advertising in terms of images. So this is my website, fami.co.uk. I try and keep it dead simple. So just nice. I mean, you are a photographer. Photographs are what you do. Show the photographs. So literally just big full screen splash. There's my pictures. I've not updated this in a while. These guys, Phil and Laura, they got married in Birkenhead last August 2020, I think. Like right between the lockdowns. Yeah, try and keep it dead simple. This probably won't load, but this is actually a video where I've got wedding films. Don't overload people with information. Got a dead basic meet team family, just me and the dog, if anyone was wondering. That's the annoyance that I was on about earlier. And then categories, dead simple. Photography, I basically just advertise for weddings now. So we can go through and see the packages, gallery, and then the coffee link there is just a inquiry form. In terms of gallery, this is just a rolling gallery from like the last couple of years or so. This will be getting updated soon, I hope, when I have the time. Packages, it's basically my pricing, basically. Different people have different thoughts on this, on how to go about it in terms of pricing. A lot of photographers don't even list their pricing on the website. In my eyes, if someone can't see a price, they're just going to think, ooh, it's going to be expensive, and won't even bother sending that message. Whereas if they can see a price, they might not message straight away, but they might just bookmark the page or something like that. If it's definitely within their budget, they'll probably just send the message immediately. So yeah, in my eyes, showing a price on your website is a very good thing to do, but people have different thoughts on it. If we go to films, this is split up a bit more, but I am thinking of changing this soon. So I've got my main reel right there at the top. That is very loud. I don't think that would have gone through to you though. And first one again is weddings, then like promo, live events and educational. In weddings, I try and keep it simple again. You are a wedding filmmaker. Show your wedding films. So, very small explanation, and then wedding films. These are all this year, and then again packages, and then an inquiry form. But then otherwise, I do have a blog where, if people are asking to see more images, I'll send them links to blog posts. So Laura and Phil, for example, a little bit of writing, but then a whole load of images, far more than they're on the actual wedding galleries page. So this is a much better way, I think, of showing sort of highlights, start to finish, of the wedding day, or your coverage of the wedding day. And then you see a real variety in the sort of shots that you produce as well. So we will do sort of posy pictures. In general, I'm much more this sort of thing, very documentary sort of stuff. I mean, you can't pose that, can you? Come on. Sure, in general, if I know that the couple want group shots, I'll have a list with me on the day of the shots they've asked for, and I'll try and bang them out in 10 minutes after the ceremony, and then just let the couple crack on with their day that they have paid a lot of money for. They don't need me dragging them off by themselves for an hour. They've paid for all their friends and family to be there. They should be there enjoying it with them. That's my philosophy on it anyway. Yeah, Scott, I hope that answered your question. Where are we now? Not desktop, what am I doing? That one. Okay. I've not looked at the chat in quite a while, have I? Touch my camera through the fence. I do not know what that means. Sweater is pretty dope, I agree, thank you. Yeah, my mum got me this one a few years ago. I still love it. Jago's here. Ben, what would you tell your future self knowing what you know now? Buy Bitcoin and Tesla stock. Yeah, that's pretty much it. Happy New Year's. Wish you a really great and successful year ahead. Cheers, mate. And yourselves as well. That's my mate Diego, my Mexican friend Diego. Yeah, a few of my other mates are at his parents' house tonight for a big party. I'm not. So that's at least 2 New Year's parties that I'm not at. There we go. Another time, maybe. So it is currently 11:57. We are nearly there, folks. Last questions. I've only got 2 more questions here, I think. So one from Chris Owen, again on Instagram. Do you shoot around Chester much? Hey, we've got a viewer in Brazil, by the looks of it. Hello. It's Portuguese they speak in Brazil, isn't it? Not Spanish. Is it still hola to say hello? I have no idea. Please do let me know. So do I shoot around Chester? Honestly, I've been in Chester once in the last 2 years. And it is, for those who don't know the geography, I'm in northeast Wales, which borders with England. I grew up around Mold, which is a 20-30 minute bus ride into the centre of Chester. I pretty much grew up in Chester through my teenage weekends and stuff like that. Knew the place like the back of my hand. Then I went off to Bangor in northwest Wales for university. by that point I was making a bit more money, and I completely bypassed Chester, going to Liverpool and Manchester, spending all my money on gigs. So I still know the train station very well. But yeah, there's a video on my homepage, YouTube homepage. Let's find it anyway, because I know how to do this now. Boom, transition. So yeah, if we went to my homepage, pardon me. So if you, I can't see it, can I? I think maybe if you're a new viewer, then at the top, my sort of intro video is a video from Chester. It's with the Christmas markets and stuff in December 2019. Let's find it. That's the one. I'm not going to play it, but yeah, that was pretty much the last time I was in the centre of Chester, except for one evening in, I think, August or September this year. I went to the what was it called? Secret Cinema, was it called? It's an outdoor cinema screening in the grounds of the cathedral, which was really cool. Went to see Hot Fuzz. It was ace. But yeah, I've just not been in Chester at all, really. I have no reason to. Yeah, I mean, I live near Riffin now, so it is a trek if I am going there. Half the time I just can't be bothered. So yeah, I think that answers that question. What's the last one? So, message from J.M. Calder. This is another guy I was in school with. This might be my favourite question of the evening. If you could have any modern day hot hatch, which would it be? And I can answer you straight away. The GR Yaris. Hands down, GR Yaris. It just looks so fun. It might not be practical. I mean, it might well be more practical than some hot hatches, especially 4-wheel drive versus 2-wheel drive. Yeah, it just looks a hugely fun car to drive. In reality, I'm not going to be getting one. My dad almost got one actually, but he went with a Puma ST instead because he couldn't be bothered with the waiting time on the Yaris. But yeah, I mean, I'm still holding out for my Forester XT, which eventually one day I will own, and it will be the perfect filmmaker's car. Go anywhere, throw everything in the back, camp in it if I want to. Until then, my Skoda Fabia will make do. It's 2 minutes past midnight, so Happy New Year, folks. Chin chin. Yes, it is Portuguese in Brazil. Thank you for the X100V tips. Been using for a while and loving it. Great camera. Absolutely agree. Yeah, I sold mine, which you may well have seen on. I did my 1 year review a week or two ago. I got a lot of hate for that video. Yeah, just because I said something bad about a Fujifilm product. I got a lot of dislikes on that video. But it's warranted. Yeah, I mean, fanboys, what can you do? Fujifilm fanboys are the worst fanboys, by far. I don't mean that as a general term to Fujifilm users. Just fanboyism. I cannot understand it. You cannot be loyal to a brand. They've already had your money. They do not need your loyalty. I will use whatever does the job best for me. I don't care what name is written on it. But yeah, a lot of people don't think that way. So yeah, I got a lot of dislikes on that video. But there we go. Yeah, I loved covering it. It's a really good camera. In terms of the channel, it did a lot for the channel. I'm sure I got quite a few new subscribers from it. But yeah, it just wasn't a great camera for me and how I use a camera. So there we are. Right, I have been talking for an hour and a half non-stop now, so I'm going to call it quits pretty soon. Pardon me. Oh, I missed the question. What is your wedding volume? Around -6 decibels. Now, I'm guessing they're on about how many weddings do I do. So, I mean, the last year or two, it's all just been all over the place. Having so many postponements in 2020. 2020, I can tell you exactly how many weddings I shot. 3. The entire year. One of those was before the pandemic. Yeah, it wasn't a good year last year. This year, I've lost count. I didn't have I've basically shot most of the weddings I had originally from 2020, which were postponed. But then I've had quite a few new bookings as well. I've taken on a few very last minute weddings. Last week, I shot a wedding just down the road from here. I was asked to shoot it the day before by the original wedding photographer because of COVID. It turned out her family had caught it. And then in October as well, I shot a wedding on Anglesey, which is an hour away, with 3 hours notice before the ceremony. So there's been a lot of that this year, just jumping in, covering. I do a lot of second shooting as well, which I am very happy doing. Turn up, shoot stuff, hand over the footage, go home. Absolutely love it. Yeah, it's a great way of just topping up cash flow. Cash flow is king in any business. So yeah, getting a wage for a day's work, and at the end of that day the work is done. Superb. Love it. I think this next year, 2022, I don't have any weddings booked until I think April, around Easter time, which I'm quite happy with. Obviously I've got this new job starting this next week, so I'm more than happy just pouring everything into that, and then YouTube and stuff like that on top. And then I think I've got at least 1 or 2 weddings every month through till October, November, which is as much as I really want to do. I know photographers who will shoot over 50, 60, 70 weddings a year, and I would be hating my life if I was spending that much time at weddings. I like weddings, but like everything else in life, moderation. There's only so much of something that you can take. Yeah, I would much rather do 10 weddings a year and absolutely nail it, rather than wearing myself out shooting 2-3 weddings a week and then having to do the editing on top of that as well. Yeah, generally speaking, I can edit a wedding gallery in a day and a half, wedding video in a couple of weeks if I've got nothing else on. So yeah, 1 or 2 weddings a month I am more than happy with, and obviously it quietens down over the winter anyway here in the UK, So yeah, I am more than happy to just take the ebb and flow, just ride it. Sound. Vum.ong. I know, right? Yeah, I'm going to call it there. It is now. I can hear fireworks going off. The dog will not be happy. Yeah, I'm going to get going. I'm running out of words and my throat is getting rather dry. I need to drink some more rum. So thank you very much for watching. Yeah, I'll have to do this again at some point. I'm getting the hang of this live streaming stuff now. I've actually got stuff permanently set up for it as well, so I can just jump in, start streaming whenever really. If you've got any more questions, if you've watched this video after the stream has ended, if you've got questions, drop a comment down below and I'll just save them up for the next one. If not, then I'll just answer them in the comments. Yeah, so to everyone, wherever in the world you are, Happy New Year. Hope the next year is a prosperous one and a healthy one. And yeah, I'm looking forward to the next year ahead. A lot of exciting things are happening, both outside and within this YouTube channel. So yeah, Happy New Year. Enjoy yourselves. Be sensible. And I'll see you in the next one. I can't remember how you finish this now. Where is it? Oh, I'm so bad at streaming. There it is. End.